So for now, I think we'll open it up to any questions you may have for the Chief and I.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. A couple other points I just want to mention. The successes that we've had recently with a public calling. We often go out to these burglary scenes and do our canvas, and we do run across people who say, you know, I saw something that I thought was suspicious, but until I realized that the burglary had occurred, I didn't want to bother you. Now's the time to bother us, because you're not bothering us. Call. That see something, say something that's been plastered all over the country really does pertain to our level here in Los Altos. Err on the side of calling. You're not bothering us by any stretch of the imagination. When you call our dispatch number, and we would actually like you to err on the side of 911 calls. Because of what's going on in our community right now, if you feel it's something really suspicious and potentially dangerous, call on the 911 line. Our dispatchers will answer it, and they'll be asking you a series of questions. Be patient with them, because they have a script of things that they need to get out. And what they're going to do, as they're talking to you on the phone, they're going to be putting you on mute and communicating with our officers on the street so they can get a jump on the dispatch and be responding immediately to that call. So don't try and tell them the story that's going on. They have a specific script of things that they need to ask you. They're not being rude, but as that call is unfolding as an emergency situation, they'll be asking you those questions. But please, please give us a call. We want to hear about that. That solicitor who just doesn't seem right, who's knocking on your door at 8 o'clock at night, we want to hear about that. We want to go out and make contact with that individual. Maybe your neighbor's already called, we've already contacted them, and they have a right to be out there. Know that I'm the one that issues the solicitor permits for the City of Los Altos. I've issued 3 permits in the 7 years I've been your chief of police. 3. And 1 I did deny, and they appealed it to City Council, and Council upheld that. I am very rigorous with my scrutiny when I issue those permits, because I know what they use that for oftentimes. Now, I can't control free speech issues. Political, religious, nonprofits can still go out there. But that doesn't mean that you have to open your door. Make sure, though, if you don't open your door, that they know you're home. Give some type of acknowledgement that you're home, that, you know, I don't want to talk to you. Put a no solicitor sign on your window or in front of your door, and just say, I have a no soliciting sign, don't be here. Call us if that's happening, because there's a high likelihood that they're there for some other reason than what they're representing. So for that, let's open it up for questions. I'd like to take about 10 or 15 minutes for questions, and then we'll turn it over to Josh. Ma'am, the question is, how many of those homes that were burglarized had home security systems? Very, very few. In fact, one of the recent ones, they broke the window, the alarm went off, and they did leave. Most of them do not have home security systems. Officer Cottrell is going to talk about the benefits of that, but what we feel is if you do something that makes it difficult, Mark mentioned the path of less resistance, something that is apparent, you have a sign that you have a home alarm system, or camera surveillance system, or a dog, or something of that nature, they will move on to some other house or some other area that is not as secured as yours. But most of them do not have home alarm systems. That's not 100% though, that they won't happen. There is a process that takes place with your home alarm system. What they do is your alarms company gets the notification that there's an activation. They will try and call the home. If there's no one in the home, then they'll try usually 1 or 2 cell phone numbers. You can make this however you want to make it, but that's normally the case in point. If they don't reach you, or they do reach you and say, I'm not at home, activate the police, then they'll call us, and then we'll respond. So there is a delay between the alarm going off and us receiving the call in our dispatch center. Now, we do have a very quick response time to these types of calls. Our average response time is right around 5 minutes for these types of calls. We do get there fairly quick, but there's always a built-in delay before we even get the call with it. There have been cases, not so much here in our community, but in other communities, where they have taken the wireless keypad off the wall and destroyed it, and has caused the activation to go away.
Well, thank you, and I do welcome that challenge. And I've been in this business for 36 years, and I wish, quite frankly, I wish I could patrol every neighborhood every 10 minutes. That's not realistic. I can't do it. Our staffing levels, I feel, are adequate. We have a very safe community, and if we're not in your community at a particular time or as frequent as you like, I'm sorry about that, but we have the entire city to cover. We have shopping districts, we have residential districts, we have major thoroughfares, and we do the best we can to cover all of those areas. We do try and focus on those areas that are experiencing crime. That's clearly what we're doing now. We do practice random patrol patterns, so we don't give a pattern for criminals to know that an officer is going to be at this particular area at this particular time. We have 5 community priorities in the City of Los Altos, and these priorities were established between a relationship with the police department and the community. Child and school safety is one of our top priorities. A lot of our time is spent around the schools, especially at the start of the school day and into the school day, to keep our children safe going to and from school, and around the traffic issues around school. Safe and secure neighborhoods, which is what you're talking about and what we're talking about here today, is another factor with that. And that's our priority with our patrol teams, and being there, responding to our 911 calls as well, responding to traffic accidents. That's our #1 priority, is responding to 911 calls for the police department with it. Safe and secure shopping districts is the other responsibility. Another priority, which is the #1 public safety issue for our community, is traffic and traffic enforcement. The majority of complaints that we get are traffic-related complaints. And it's nonstop. That's why I brought Sergeant Bunch here today with traffic-related complaints. We have a lot of crashes in this city, we have a lot of speeders, a lot of complaints, and we respond to those community complaints regarding traffic. And the 5th priority is emergency preparedness, and you're going to hear from Sherry later on today. As for the traffic stop, I don't know the specifics with it, so I can't talk about that. But I will tell you, statistics have shown, and over the course of years, and it's been my experience over my career, that an active car stop by a uniformed police officer in a marked patrol car serves as a very high deterrent for criminal activity in a community. Just the mere presence of a patrol car, as you're talking about, you don't see it in your neighborhood, but a patrol car making a car stop, active car stop, and walking up and issuing a citation for whatever the reason is. And I don't know why 2 officers were there at a particular time with it. We do back up officers. And one of the directions that I'm giving right now is we want to be visible. We want to be out there. We want to be making car stops. We don't know who you are. And a expired tab is probable cause for us to make a stop. Once we make that contact, we do whatever we need to do. But the mere presence of a uniformed police officer in a marked patrol car making a car stop does serve as a deterrent with that. What I would like to do is, if you can meet with one of our officers or me afterwards, get your information, and specifically about your neighborhood. And again, like I said at the beginning of the meeting, I apologize that you've experienced all these things and been a victim. It's my responsibility, and I hate, like I said, it really does sicken me to have that happen to any of our communities. Beyond that, and I think equally as important that I want to talk about, why all of you are here, what you just talked about is creating a fear of crime for all of us. And I feel that same fear. I live in a community very similar to Los Altos, and I shared this for the people that were at the meeting last night. I live in Saratoga, very similar community. And there was a burglary on the house, the street behind me. Similar thing happened where the burglar kicked in the front door, and there was a teenager girl home alone who was told not to answer the door, confronted the suspect. The suspect fortunately fled, and she was not injured. But it created that fear of crime for me. The reason that all of you are here today, I put in an alarm system, enhanced my alarm system, and I put in cameras at my house because my wife is home alone at night. So I absolutely understand what you're talking about. I can't get into specifics on what the arrest was for, other than it was a warrant arrest for a local warrant, and it was a felony warrant. The vehicle has been tagged for 72 hours. It was tagged today. We have to actually physically mark it, post it, so that the owner of it, it's legally parked, but after 72 hours, we would tow it. I got an update right before I came over here that it will probably, hopefully be moved sometime either tonight or tomorrow. It was broken down, the conversation that we had with that individual. But it was a warrant arrest, but I can't go beyond that. Thank you, and I will make a plug for that program because we actually do take that information. We have it online, and we do take it if you call in or come in with it. It's a vacation check is what it is. It lets us know that you're going to be gone, and we do log it into our dispatch system. What we don't do is guarantee that we're going to drive by, but many, many times we do drive by those homes with it. I think we're the only police department that actually does that still. But we just can't give, I don't want to give a false promise, a false expectation that we're going to be driving by, because our officers may be busy and tied up on other things, but when they have free time, they will drive by those homes that do that. And it's a neighborhood check that you can get online. That's an individual thing. I'm not going to advocate that you take a picture of it. We've had people that have put themselves in harm's way to try and take a picture of a vehicle or something along those lines. That's an individual thing. I would recommend not opening the door and just telling the person, I don't talk to solicitors, I don't talk to people taking surveys, I don't talk, if that's what you want to do, that's your choice. That's what I would recommend. I will tell you, anyone who sells a commercial product other than the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, because our municipal code says if you have anything over $10, you have to get a permit from me. And I told you I don't issue those, they're very rare. They don't have a permit and they're not legally there to be there. Well, as far as, I've never heard of an app like that, and in our industry and profession, I haven't heard of something like that. Crime reports is our best tool in getting the word out. It's immediate. We download the information at 2 o'clock every morning. And like Sergeant Batista said, you log in, you put your address in, it'll give you crimes or calls that have occurred in that immediate area. It also has sex registrant information. To get back to your first part of your question, which was, is there any standard method? Do people walk up? Do they drive up? Do they park? Yes, all of the above. All of the above. They have a variety of different ways to approach it. Pardon me?
Do they have flashlights in it?
Rarely, like Mark mentioned, rarely are the burglaries occurring at night. Most of them are during the daytime. They have been proven to be preventative. They also help with future apprehension. Someone who sees a video camera on the side of a house will probably be inclined to move somewhere where they don't have the video camera. So it does serve as that. Thank you for mentioning that. I'm glad you're doing better, and thank you for coming out here. Yes, it worked. Thank you for coming out tonight. And those, yeah, like I said, when we have the opportunity to come by on those vacation checks, we absolutely do take that opportunity because we see tremendous value of that. What I'd like to do now is continue the program, turn it over to Josh, and then turn it over to Sherry. And then we're going to be around after the meeting to answer any other personal questions for you. So, Officer Josh Cottrell.
Well, as the chief said, my name is Josh Cottrell. I'm the crime prevention officer. I also do code enforcement for the City of Los Altos. I've been here for about 5 years, working in the community for 12. I'm here to talk a little bit about Neighborhood Watch, crime prevention, and then also the house assessment. What is Neighborhood Watch? It's a crime prevention program that enlists the active participation of neighborhoods in a collaboration with the police department. Neighbors getting to know each other. All of you here know your neighbors. You either know your kids, kids play with kids, grandchildren. You guys all, for the most part, a lot of our Los Altos residents are very established. So you guys know each other. You guys know what cars you guys drive, the routines, who walks their dog in the morning, who runs in the afternoon. So you guys know what to look for. So by helping each other, we can help you. Learning and implementing crime prevention strategies, recognizing and reporting suspicious activity or crimes, and home security measurements like a home inspection, like we're going to talk about in a minute. Neighborhood Watch. So myself, I coordinate 110 active block captains. About 3 years ago when I took this over, we had 48. So we've easily doubled. My goal is to continue that growth by encouraging you folks to join if you already haven't. Those 110 block captains pass along information, updates, crime reports to the group of neighbors they have organized. Anything from one block captain overseeing one person, 4 people, 300. It depends. It's what works for you guys. If you live on a court, you have 4 people, perfect. If you want to oversee an entire community like the Highlands, fantastic. I'm here to support that. Whatever works within your group, we kind of are flexible. How to join? You contact me. You reach out to me, and I'll either get you in touch with a block captain in your area, or if you'd like to volunteer to be a block captain and start one, I'll give you the tools to succeed in that. I'll work with you. I'll help you recruit. I'll go out with you in your neighborhood, and we'll do it together. After we establish that group, we'll hold our first neighborhood watch meeting. I'll come out. I'll meet with everybody, get to know everybody. It's kind of a social event. Get people excited about it, and then work together from that point forward. A block captain, as definition that I put together, they act as a liaison between myself, the crime prevention unit, and the residents of Los Altos. I work hand in hand with the investigative unit. I see the trends of what we're seeing. So during the house assessment, which what we're going to talk about shortly, I can reflect what I'm seeing and give that information back to you and how it'll apply to your house specifically. Each house in our city is different. There's no set structure of exactly what we look like. So by taking advantage of this program, and we'll talk about it more in detail in a minute, I can come out, work with you one-on-one, answer specific questions to your guys' needs, and then go over that applies to your house. So reporting suspicious activity, we talked about it a lot tonight. Be alert. Anything that seems slightly out of place or is occurring in an unusual time of day could be a criminal activity. You guys know deep down what is suspicious. How many of you out here have thought about calling us, maybe wanted to contact us, but didn't? If you're brave enough to raise your hand, feel free. Great. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten an email, a week, 2 weeks, a month after the fact, a phone call. Hey, Josh, I was thinking about contacting you about this car. I didn't, but hey, this is the license plate. I will still forward that information on to our detectives. They will still follow up on it. But in your gut, if you feel like something's not right, don't hesitate. We've been saying it all night. Call us. Let us know. Let us do our job. You're not bothering us, I promise. You're not bothering me if you reach out to me, okay? Examples of suspicious activity, these are just a few. When a person or vehicle stays in the same location for an extensive period of time, you guys know what that means. You see some car, you're like, I haven't seen that. I don't know that car. I know my neighbors. I know my neighbors' kids. I know what they drive. That doesn't fit. Out of the norm. A vehicle you don't recognize frequently driving around your neighborhood. Same concept. Individuals carrying, concealing, or attempting to conceal something suspicious. You see a gentleman running with a backpack or a suitcase down your street, I would hope you'd call us. A vehicle parked or occupied or unoccupied with the engine left running. Could be suspicious. Could be somebody who's left the car running for a quick getaway. Maybe somebody's entered a yard and you don't know that. Give us a call. Individuals walking in a neighborhood with loose fit clothing, usually dark, possibly torn, dirty, or messy. Pretty self-explanatory, but in July, if you see somebody walking in 90-degree heat with a black beanie on or something of that nature in dark clothing, probably out of place. See somebody with baggy clothing that could be hiding or concealing something, call us. People going door to door, we've been talking about that a lot tonight. Solicitors, even with the freedom of speech, religious, nonprofit, yes, they can go to your door to door. The chief does not have to issue a permit, but that doesn't mean you can't call us if something's not right. Call us. Crime reporting. If a crime occurs, report it immediately and accurately. In a lot of cases, people even hesitate when a crime affects them. They'll wait 20, 30, 40 minutes sometimes before they make the call. Call us immediately so we can get on scene and assess the situation and help you. Do not attempt to apprehend the person committing a crime or investigate suspicious activity. The chief touched on that. Do not put yourself in harm's way. Let us do that for you. So describing an event. if you call 911, hopefully when you call 911. When describing events, if you're safe to do so, write it down. It'll help you. A lot of times when you see something suspicious or maybe even a crime, your adrenaline's going to kick in. Sometimes you're going to forget details. So if possible, write it down. What happened? When did it happen? Where it occurred? Maybe note the nearest cross street, home address, or a landmark that's familiar to you. Whether there's injuries involved. You know, if it's something severe, you could potentially help us save a life. Whether weapons are involved. This information could be crucial for us as officers showing up on scene for officer safety. It changes potential response as well. Suspects, description, clothing, direction of travel, last time you see him, walk away, drive away. The vehicle description, if you can get a license plate, fantastic. All these are important details to help us help you guys. This is something I put together called the 4 Ds. You can deter. Know and look out for your neighbors, increase awareness and natural surveillance, residential alarms, dogs, cameras. Deny. Keep doors and windows locked. Secure garage and gates. Cut overgrown landscaping near doors and windows so folks can't hide. Delay. Maintain appearance of occupancy. Use timers for lights, TV, radio. Don't close all your shades and your blinds and curtains all the time. Pick up mail, newspapers, garbage cans. Give the appearance that you're home. Detect. So recognize and report suspicious activity or crimes that are in progress. Do not enter the home by any means if you think that you've been burglarized, if your door's open, if there's a broken window, anything of that nature. Go to a safe place, a neighbor, a friend, call us immediately, and let us come out and evaluate. So the home security inspections, hopefully all of you picked up one of these on the way in. If you didn't, pick one up on the way out. It's a home security handbook. This is something I hand out when I come out to individual homes and meet with you one-on-one. We're the only police department in the county that does it. I get the privilege to meet all of you. It's something I get excited about. I get to develop a relationship with you. You get to have a one-on-one relationship with somebody at the police department that you can reach out to. So these appointments are one-on-one, customized to your residence. Every single one of your guys' homes is completely different than the other. So these are guidelines. This handbook will give you a general consensus of what we're trying to help you do. But by me coming out, I can really help customize it and basically look at every detail to give you guys the best advantage. It's a full exterior evaluation, windows, doors, gates, lighting. We discuss how valuables are stored, jewelry, electronics, family heirlooms, anything of that nature. We discuss how important confidential documents are stored, social security cards, credit card info, bank statements. We go over a home inspection packet, which we talked about. Discuss current trends or methods criminals are using to break in. I'm a certified evidence technician, so a lot of these crime scenes I'm actually being a part of. So it really helps you guys because I'm firsthand seeing how these folks are breaking into homes. And I can give you guys that information and provide that to help reflect security at your home. Discuss habits. This is my favorite part. We discuss habits leaving your residence, whether you're going out to breakfast, whether you're going to the grocery store for a short period of time. What's your habit? Do you guys lock the door into your garage from your residence before you leave? I won't ask you to raise hands. Long periods of time, vacation, we talked about the vacation request. If you're going to be gone for a long period of time, let us know. If you have a hard time filling out that form, let me know. I'll help you do it. So before I end and let Sherry come up here, I want to make sure she gets an opportunity. I just want to tell all of you, my business card's on the table. The home inspection packet's here. I've been reached out to a lot since last night. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of home inspections. But I'm asking all of you to take full advantage of me, please. I want to come out and meet with you one-on-one, develop a relationship, and take a look at your house. So I ask you to grab a card, give me a call, whether it's this weekend, if you want to think about it, a week or two. Doesn't matter. Please reach out to me, and we'll go from there.
I'd like to introduce my partner in emergency preparedness, Sherry Dotsworth. She started a grassroots effort. She's going to talk about that. but it is a wonderful program that complements the city's service with emergency preparedness, and she's going to hopefully get you involved to sign up and be part of our emergency preparedness for the City of Los Altos. Sherry?
Thank you, Tech. But before I start, I think we should give a round of applause to an outstanding police force. We are so lucky that they are here having a community conversation with us, letting us know what is going on. So thank you all very, very much. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you about the BAT program, Block Action Team Program. How many of you are familiar with that? All right, look at all those hands. Do you know one of the things that, well, let me ask another question. How many of you know how to turn the gas meter off in your house if there was a major earthquake? Quite a few of you. How many would hope that your neighbor knows how to turn the gas meter off? Okay. So what the Block Action Team is all about is neighbors connecting with neighbors. Because we know that if neighbors connect with each other, they'll take care of each other and they'll help each other. Tonight I heard several instances like somebody wanting to know immediately what was going on in their neighborhood. Well, with the BAT group, you would start a Google group for your, a Google or Yahoo group for your BAT, the houses in your BAT, and you could immediately send something out to that group of neighbors so you would know what was going on. It would also be your neighbors looking out after your houses when you're on vacation. They know, and you connect and you take care of each other because you know each other. So the concept of BAT was started after citizens realized that in the town of Los Altos, we weren't doing a lot to engage our community and our residents in emergency preparedness. So the Los Altos Community Foundation in 2013 started the Block Action Team program. It has three purposes. One is to improve the emergency preparedness and prepare our community to take care of each other. The other is to promote crime and safety prevention. And the third thing is to just connect community to have a good time. Because we all want to know our neighbors. We all want to be more social with our neighbors, but we don't always go knock on the door and say hi and get to know them. So we really give BAT program leaders the opportunity to, and we give them some tools and training and some tips on how to do all those things, how to connect your neighbors so you will take care of them. And you will be able to help in a major emergency. We help you develop an emergency response system for your neighborhood. So when that earthquake shakes, and it does happen, and it's inevitable. It's not when, well, it is when, but it will happen. We want to know that our neighbors will go knock on the door and make sure that everybody is okay. 20% of our community is over the age of 65. There's a lot of independent seniors living alone that need somebody to make sure that they're going to be okay when there's no electricity and there's no water. So what I ask you to do is to find out more about our Block Action Team program. We have a nice brochure that's on the back. Let me put this down. Whoop. Got to stay in the camera range. Which explains more about the Block Action Team. And we also have a website. It's losaltosbat.org, where you can find information. We have a couple of trainings coming up. To become a BAT leader, what you do is you say, I'll be a BAT leader for my neighborhood. I define the number of houses I want in my BAT, and you go around, you connect some information, you then gather your neighbors in a social setting and develop a plan for an emergency response, as well as just connecting for socialization. The other thing that in our next training is April 27th. Because of the BAT program, we also restarted the CERT program. Are there any CERT graduates in this? Several of you, and several of you may have taken it a while ago. Well, we needed to restart that so that we have improved the preparedness level of our community. So through this effort to engage our community in emergency preparedness, we started the CERT program. We've trained 65 CERT members and had 3 sessions. And we have a new session starting on April 21st. And there's information in the back of the room regarding that. And this back to the BAT program, We started this in early 2014 with our first training class. We've had 91 people go through the training. We have 40 bats established throughout the city, which covers 10% of the households. So we know people want to connect for not only emergency preparedness, but to make our community an even better place to live. So I just encourage you to please find out more about the Block Action Team, a free program of the Los Altos Community Foundation.
That concludes our formal program. Again, I want to thank all of you for coming out, and we're going to stick around if you want to have some individual questions that you want. Sergeant Bunch is here for traffic questions, traffic issues. It really will make a difference having all of you actively involved to help us solve this problem, because together, as it says up here, we'll build a stronger and safer community. The same comments that we started off the meeting with Mayor Pepper stated. So thank you all very much for coming today. We really appreciate your support. Bye.